Good morning. We are all creatures of habit, good and bad. Nobody's perfect, right? However, we sometimes can strive to be perfect because we've been criticized for so many things. I know a guy who, when he was a little boy, he was so sweet, but a lot of people made comments about his complexion. He had beautiful brown complexion, dark brown. But to be compared to your siblings all the time, was something. He had one brother that was lighter than him. And in some cases, he thought how lucky his brother was. But we're all created in God's image, meaning we all have our own beauty, but you've got to see your beauty within. People can point out different parts of you, but if you don't accept it, then what does that look like? This same guy really looked up to one of his cousins, really liked this cousin a lot, but became very judgmental about this cousin because he kept hearing comments about the cousin. When you hear things about other people and you believe everything that you hear, or even mostly what you hear, and you've not checked it out yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure because you've not done the investigative or background work yourself, and you've judged based upon what other people said. When those tables turn, what does it look like? Because the same way that you judge others, you will be judged yourself. You got to keep that in mind, because while a lot of us feel like we can be put on that pedestal and we can judge other people, when you're judged, how does that feel? Does it feel good, or does it feel more painful? No one likes to be under that microscope, being dissected and filtered and looked at and judged and poked and prodded. No one likes that. But sometimes it's very easy for you to do it to others. Why is that? It's a blessed person who can make a bad judgment call and judge another person and be able to see it when it comes back, because it's like a boomerang. What you give out always comes back. I don't care whichever way you place it, whichever way you slice it, it's going to come back. When it comes back, if you're able to see it and recognize it and correct it, that is a blessing within itself. But we don't always see it as a blessing because no one likes to be scrutinized. And maybe scrutinized might be too harsh a word. Either way, it's always good to check yourself before someone else does, by you making a better judgment call on yourself and not others. Assessing the situation and saying, oh my goodness, I really should not have done that. Correcting it, going to God and talking to God about it and saying, I did this wrong, please forgive me. Or even going to the person and asking for forgiveness, because perhaps that person was judged too harshly. There was a woman who separated from a family, and everyone judged that woman. First it was a guy. When the guy left, people scrutinized him and called him left. And he didn't like it, and he was hurt by this whole situation, but he had to leave because he needed to gather his thoughts. He felt as though people were judging him and making, all sorts of accusations, and he needed to free himself. Oh, he returned in time, but it was his timing. When the woman left, she did not quickly return. She didn't quickly return because she started observing. When you separate yourself from a situation, you're able to sometimes see it more clearly. People don't understand that. They don't understand when you separate. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from powerlessness. Sometimes when you're in a situation, you feel powerless because you see all that's going on. And sometimes when you separate yourself, you are not only allowing yourself to see the full picture, but you're allowing yourself to heal. You're allowing yourself to see things more clearly, you know? When the rain comes out and it cleanses things and the sun comes out soon after, it clears up the rain and it allows you to see things more clearly. When you clean up your house, you're able to breathe and think more clearly. These are blessings in our lives that we don't always see. When someone separates, they are allowing themselves to heal, see, breathe, and think things out. When you're on top of things, it's hard for you to see, breathe, and yourself through it. So while other people are judging you for separating, people can make up all sorts of things. You see, a man approached a woman, an elderly woman, that he respected a lot, and he was inquiring about the woman's relative. And the woman said, "Oh, she's a prostitute. She's a woman of leisure. That's the reason why the family separated from her." She made this story up so that people could look down upon the person who left. The person who left saw things as being very unhealthy and needed to separate because the situation that was going on and the dynamics and the things that were being observed were very unhealthy. If something is unhealthy and you stay and remain a part of it, are you a part of the problem or are you a part of the solution? I believe that you would be a part of the solution because not only are you separating yourself to see things more clearly and to sort things out in your head, but you are allowing yourself to be freed from the unhealthy. When you love yourself, it's time for you to see things as they are and to feel and to know what healthy looks like. Embrace the healthy while embracing your own self, loving yourself, because it is so lovely being you.